Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back. I'm here to share my trade secrets and my intellectual property with you so that you can do for yourself what is being kept from you. Give yourself a little bit better oral health care with a oral rinse that removes calcified oral plaques, prevents calcified oral plaques. These pictures right here, you can see them very well on the homepage of the website. The top one there with all the red, that's where in the dentist office, the man chewed the plaque disclosing dye capsules. The red dye shows the plaque. A month later, after using the mouth rinse just once a day, this dentist in 2016 wanted to see clinical trials conducted. But when I was arrested and charged with all those felonies in May, the dentist went silent. The same month that the National Institute of Health funded $1.8 billion, that's 1,800 million. All right, we get desensitized with these numbers. That's $1,800 million, ignoring what eventually became a United States patent, an extremely hard-won United States patent. And it's because of cowards, all the cowardly dentists, all the cowardly politicians, all the cowardly researchers, all the cowardly medical providers, all the cowardly attorneys, all the cowardly people of influence that could do something about this. I've done so much talking about this. So we got to do a little recap every once in a while. So it's your introduction here into our charcoal filtering decant. We're on our way. We're on our way. Oh, it's worth mentioning. I did not age restrict this video so that hopefully I reach a larger audience and so that I can let everyone know that all the extraction videos are age restricted. All right, so I'm set up over here. I'm going to move the computer over here, and we're going to decant. You see, we're not concerned about getting the charcoal out. What we're going to do is we're going to leave the charcoal behind. Leave the charcoal behind. So, all right, I think this is pretty good. Now, this jar here, this was just straight alcohol, just pure isopropyl alcohol, clear. And I did the charcoal filtering in here so that I could show you the process of the charcoal going down and the time that it takes. And a couple of things surprised me. For one, we have this color. And I've been giving that a lot of thought. And I've come to the strong opinion that is we'll call it a stain from the charcoal. The same thing you get with whiskey. When whiskey comes out of those charcoal barrels, it has that golden color to it. And whatever that is, that obviously gets left behind because when we evaporate the alcohol and reclaim it, it comes back as crystal clear as when we first used it. So this one taught me something. I was using this to teach you folks, and I learned something. So it's worth mentioning that there's a lot to learn, and research has been absolutely stifled. Um, my ability to have access to cannabis has been so limited, and cash extremely limited. The system has put the screws to me, so to speak. So at any rate, I moved these jars very carefully. So when you're going to move it from location to location, you want to be very careful. You don't want to jostle it because that makes that charcoal move. So if you need to pick it up and change location, you're going to do it like this. All right. And if you happen to jostle it, it's okay. Now you're just going to have to let it settle. Now, I'm not seeing charcoal sticking to the side of the jar. However, in the solutions, it's very typical that charcoal will be sticking to the side of the jar, and which some of that may come out with your pour. Um, and The thing about the charcoal is after it has sunk, after it has grabbed chlorophyll, grabbed contaminants that it can grab, if there are contaminants to be grabbed, it sinks to the bottom. And so we're going to decant, and we should be able to decant down to about here, and have a clean, a 99 to 100% clean solution, clean of charcoal, devoid of charcoal. And then, so I'm going to pick this jar up and I'm going to pour, and I'm going to be pouring. And as I get to a certain point, I'm just going to back off just a little. I'm going to slide over, and then I'm going to continue pouring. And what you're going to see is you're going to see this charcoal start coming out. You're going to see it start flowing. And we're going to get charcoal, definitely going to get charcoal going into the second jar. And then as we get down to the near the bottom, we're going to back off again, and we can go into a container like this or like this. And I've got two of these containers ready. I only have one of these, and I'm going to use this later because so we're gonna set this one aside. I'm not going to use that one for this decant. And so this one is just an example. All this was straight alcohol that got charcoal. So I'm just going to do an example with it, and then we will get to this one over here. And I got a couple more things to add to this. I'm sharing my intellectual property and my trade secrets with you folks. Come on back here, you. He tried to get away, but he didn't. All right, now I've already taken the liberty of cracking this lid loose. So when you crack the lid loose, you do not want to jostle the jar. And it's possible that that cap is on there very tight. and maybe you need two people, two sets of hands. And I'll talk about that when we get over here. I'll talk about that a little bit more when we get over there. All right. I want you to be able to see this pour. So this is just a hair. I want to make it so it's not so awkward for me, and yet you can see. I need to be able to see as well. Looks like we're doing good here. All right. You're going to be able to see that. Turn this just a little bit more. Try to think how to hold my hand so I'm not blocking your view. All right. Here we go. Now, both of those came off pretty darn good. This is what we've got left in here. All right, so what we want to do, we want to cap these. That's number one. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark it number one. No need to mark the other one. Save the ink. And I'm going to just set that aside. All right, we'll get the cap on this one. We'll see what we get here. We're going to see a lot of charcoal now. All right, so now we have the majority of the charcoal in these 4 jars. Still got some solution in there. I got room in the jar, so we'll take it. All right, then all you're going to do is you're going to, now this stuff is messy. Just hitting the rim, I splashed some of that charcoal on the side of the sink here. But you just get water in there, shake it up, and then you can dump it down the drain. You can dump it down the toilet. You can dump it outside, which is what I'm going to do. All right, now these jars, they're just going to go through that same process. They're going to get set aside, and they're going to sit, and they will eventually get a decant. And you just keep decanting until you're done. So your solution is just pure. Pure, void of charcoal. Got a couple more caps here. I'll do. All right. get these on. And then we'll get over to the cannabinoid rich solution. All right. All right. So what I did to crack this open is I took and I pushed it against the wall. I'm holding it real firm with this hand, and then I cracked it. And this one needed it. If I didn't do that, I'd have definitely jostled it. Now, let's talk about this. At some point, if it's gum tissue rejuvenation that you're interested in, I believe that we want a rich CBN solution. So that's degraded THCA or THC. And so after this, it gets poured into these jars. If you can put them in the sunlight, and the sunlight will degrade those cannabinoids to become CBN. All right. I'm gonna need another jar, which I have. Let's see. I'm just gonna go with this for my third jar. I got a couple of small ones that need to be washed out. So here we go. We just pick this up gently. At this time, I'm going to put my hands where they're the most comfortable for me, because this is the important one. The other one was important for teaching. I learned something, so I'm real happy about that. It's always good to learn. So here we go. All right. That's one. Two. That's the last one. So there you go, folks. Now, this one, I always pour off again. I let this sit the same amount of time. I'm going to let all of these sit. And then I decant. I should find no charcoal in this jar. after the decant. It would be at the bottom, and it would be coming out with the last bit of alcohol, and you would see it. And if you leave just, I would say, like, oh, 3 to 10, say, drops in the bottom of the jar. Uh, if there's any charcoal in there, you would see it. If so, at any rate, it's just a process of decanting and observing that you have left all the charcoal behind. All right. All right. So the other day, I made a video about a command letter to the ADA. You see, I've been everywhere since 2016. I have been everywhere. You know how many countries came online with this? I gotta be careful. I don't have this age restricted. Country after country after country, and I reached out to research the research team in every one of those countries, and they all had one excuse or another why not to touch this. And today we have U.S. patent 10933-013 B1 issued March 2nd, 2021. We're rolling up on 2 years now. Nobody in the business will touch this. They won't infringe on the intellectual property. Those that are in countries outside of the United States of America that are not bound by that intellectual property, they will not bring it forward because they don't want to end up like that Canadian company that was setting up in Jamaica. And the dentist for these pictures are from 2015. This was an evaluation done in the dentist office. This dentist is in hiding. In other words, this dentist will not talk about these pictures, will not talk about the fact that this dentist wanted to conduct clinical trials. And we got this situation over here in Kalkaska where the prosecutor lies and lies and lies and lies. And the state police and the Kalkaska County Sheriff conspire together to ignore a judge's command in that corporate system, that slave system, right? Shouldn't even be dealing with the man, the living, but they've got us all incorporated. That's what that all caps name is. Yeah, your first breath, you're indoctrinated into slavery in this country. I've done a lot of talks on that. A lot of talks. So I've been everywhere. Nobody will come forward. No one will bring this forward. I can't get financing for me to bring it forward. No one's going to take that chance. No, not with all the efforts government has to oppress, suppress, and attack this. National Institute of Health funded $1,800 million to find another way to do this. And this is after, when I discovered this, it was written in the United States National Library of Medicine If you have lost gum tissue, it's gone forever and it's not coming back. So I have been freely sharing my trade secrets and my intellectual property. And I only just recently had the opportunity to do an extraction and film it and explain it. And now we're in the filtering process. So, oh, something I didn't mention. Before we poured that off, if you want, you can put it in the freezer. And, uh, well, yeah, you can put it in the freezer. And what's going to happen is the waxes and the lipids, the fats, are going to coagulate and they're going to fall. And they'll put a coating over that charcoal, which helps hold it down. It minimizes the amount of charcoal that's going to come out. And yet it's going to also remove a little, we'll call it lubricating quality from your oil. Your oil will be that much tackier. So, anyways, it's worth a mention. It's worth a mention, and there's so much research that I want to do, things that I want to know. I had created non-euphoric formulations, and once I got notice of allowance on that patent, I had a clock ticking. I had to file a non-provisional for the additional patents that are in that original filing. You got to do at least one. There's several patents to pursue in that original filing. And, if you have the money, you can pursue them all at once. But at any rate, I'm just onesie twosie going along here and trying to protect my intellectual property. And it's also my last opportunity for international patents. And so I'm thinking, man, this is slam dunk, man. There's so many cannabis businesses. There's so much money downstate in Livingston County and Washtenaw County. And I start calling around the country to cannabis attorneys, because they got clients that got money, clients that are in the business. And I only need $6,000 for the PCT. That gives a time period of, I'm not sure what it is. I believe it's over a year. It's at least a year. I believe it's over a year. It might be a year and a half. I don't think it's 2 years to file in all other territories. And that gets expensive, right? So it's my last opportunity for this. And I find a couple of guys from downstate that, man, they're all excited about it. But they just, they duped me. They duped me. And did it working with my patent attorney. Again, my patent attorney is not protecting me, is working against me, obviously. And I lost my rights to international patents. And by my calculations, we're talking about a $70 trillion loss just simply on a single product. Not all the other products and business that would have been developed around that single product. So, good oral health is very disruptive to industries, dental, medical, pharma, and also the bar. Right? I mean, just think how much less work they're going to have to do when you shrink all those other things. Yeah. So at any rate, I'm doing my best. I hope I'm doing my best. I'm trying. I'm always trying to do better. I'm going to be back soon, maybe later today. I'm going to explain to you how to make non-euphoric formulations. And since I didn't get any feedback from those two bar attorneys that became my business partners, oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I've never heard from them since. Never heard from them since. Uh, it's been over a year. So has it been over a year? I think yeah, I think it's been over a year now. Oh, certainly it has. I think we're rolling up on 2 years. Yeah, we're rolling up on 2 years. I haven't heard a word from them. And they got the non-euphoric mouth rinse. They got a couple of others. And so at any rate, I've had no no knowledge gain with regards to non-euphoric formulations and their efficacy. But I'm very interested in that. And so we're gonna do a video or two on that real soon. So at any rate, I don't think I need to show you another decant video because it's just you're just going to process. But I'm going to come back. I'm going to document the entire process all the way through. Uh, but at this point, I think you know enough. Even if I'm not able to come back, you've got what you need, right? And there's plenty of people that show you how to do the cook down. I'll get the camera in a better position this time. I'll have two hands, and we'll go through that process. And so, at any rate, remember, I love you. I'm fighting for you. Wishing you good oral health. Own your authority, people. I'll be back.